just be like?
Yo, first episode, we ride with Coach. We got Sean Williams, entrepreneur, on the radar, tournament exec, great scout, rep basketball. We got JMix, Coach Jones, special guest from the Nasty Natty here today, you know. I think a lot of great dudes be getting overlooked. I really do. Because people be afraid to give them their kudos while they here, yo. I mean, 10 years, son, you probably been going?
Well, yep, 10 years. I guess this year will be year number 11 since 2009.
That's what I'm saying. And we all have, a lot of our teams here support Sean, a lot don't, but he get national support. Every college coach. You know, that stuff right there to me is valuable to a kid. You live in Atlanta, Georgia, or anywhere in this vicinity. You live anywhere in this area, you can't avoid the events. And he does a great job with incorporating everybody, man. And to me, I really want to be more here so he can share his story, what motivated him to get into business, and it's really about him, y'all. So we riding with Coach today, and we're gonna always be in the Reddit because I just feel this is where it's better, you know? So you know, Bobby, Jalen, y'all got something y'all want to talk to Sean about? Like, well, tell us, Sean, what made you want to start tournaments? Like, what was the reason that you felt like we needed somebody else to be doing tournaments?
Man, to be honest with you, it wasn't even a tournament deal. I think when I started in 2009, my best friend, he a college coach, so I was always just riding with him, going to games.
Who's that?
Andre Morgan,
okay.
Assistant coach at Middle Tennessee State.
Okay.
So, you know, he was just getting started. I'm riding with him, going to games, and I started getting familiar with all the players. So at that time, you know, social media just coming about, Twitter just coming about. I felt like, you know, these kids didn't have a voice, right? There was nobody to connect them, you know, with college coaches. So I man, for an entire year, I just went around, went to tournaments, went to big shots, did some of their tournaments, just went around, started getting familiar with the players. Then I had my first camp back in I guess it was back in 2011, okay. 2010.
I do remember that.
It was over at New Birth. Right. So, you know, I had the camp over there at New Birth, and I remember he tried, my best friend Andre tried to get me to, he said, man, you need to get on Twitter. I said, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. He said, nah, that's where all the coaches at. Get on Twitter and start putting out information. So I got on Twitter, started putting on information from camp, and, you know, looking back at that camp, I mean, from a talent perspective, I thought it was really good, right? Like, it wasn't a ton of camps going on at that time. It was only, I think Horace was doing a camp, then I had my camp. Gotcha. You know, so it was a ton of talent, a ton of kids. So each year, I just kind of built on it. And the whole tournament idea came upon, like, I tried to do a tournament the first time, I had to cancel it. Probably, like, I had to cancel it. Like, nobody was pulling up. Like, nobody would commit to it, and I didn't really understand why. Right. You know, so I spent that whole next year just beating the streets, calling, you know, AAU coaches, building the relationships, making them contacts. So when I came back the following year, I ran the Power 24 at Emory. 64 teams, it was like 60, 65 college coaches. That's big. I thought it was really good, you know, like looking back at it, you had like Ahmed Hill, Ahmed Hill was there, Jakeenan Gant, remember LJ Pete, ended up going to Georgetown, Devin Mitchell, you know, so it was good. I thought it was good overall. So each year, you know, I kind of built off of it from there. Just being able to be kind of the voice for the kids and bridging that gap between the players and the college coaches.
And that was part of my motivation, just because I like building with my people who doing something super good. Right. Like, this is not any lesser part in anything. Right. And I'm like, so to me, instead of getting told what to do, I'm gonna do this. because my kids are going to get everything they need to get, and it's been showing over the whole last 5 to 6 years. The best events have been these on the radar events. They've been huge.
Right. I mean, I think a big thing too for me, I've been able to bridge the gap to have like the really good independent teams play against the shoe team.
Right.
So 2 summers ago, Team South Carolina I think they probably was one of the best teams in the country. 2 kids who ended up going to Winthrop. They had a guard that's at Iowa State.
Okay.
Like just low to mid-major kids, well coached, play really, really hard.
Right.
They came out there, they busted everybody, all the shoe teams. Like literally.
Right.
Like Atlanta Express.
Right.
Dubbed them.
Right.
AOT beat them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Georgia Stars beat them. Like they beat everybody. So for me, man, I've been able to kind of create an atmosphere where I've been able to get shoe teams, right? Adidas, Nike, and Under Armour, all to come to Atlanta, but also have the best independent teams and get them a chance to perform.
Right.
You know, to play against them guys when it matter in the live period.
Right.
So,
matter.
You know, like I think that's the big thing, and you know, I think a lot of parents get kind of confused. Their kid got to play on a shoe team, and we're sponsored, and y'all aren't, and we're going out of town and going on trips. And my thing is, I tell parents, I say, you know, is it about going on trips, or do you want your kid to get a scholarship? You know, so if you want to go on a trip, take your son on vacation when the season over.
Right. That don't make sense. And then the other thing I tell parents, the college coach got a budget.
Right.
You ain't got to chase them.
Right. No. They got a budget.
If you supposed to play, he gonna be there if you can play. You don't chase the coach.
Play. But it's, you know.
So like, you know, they get told that. You know, that is. And that's fine. I've done this. I love the shoe circuits. I just know for what I'm doing with my next wave of thing is I can get everything I need right here and stay in the gym, stay working, and build a long-term relationship where no matter what these shoe companies do in the next few years, because we've already seen all the whatever, how do we know in 2024 this is even going to be available?
Very true.
2022, there may not be no more EYBL, no more guy. I don't know. But I know Sean's not moving.
Right. I mean, and that's the thing, too. Parents don't understand, like, college coaches are coming to see players. So if your son's sitting on the end of the bench on a Nike team or an Adidas team and he's not playing, like, they're not going to recruit him.
Mm-mm.
But you can come over here and play on this independent team and you can get 25, 28 minutes a game.
Right. And
your son can be the guy.
Yeah, you only got 9 days.
Right. So you need to take advantage of it.
Right.
So I think that's been, that's been good, and kind of, some people, they'll listen and they'll figure it out. Then other parents come back to me in August when their kids unsigned seniors, like, can you help us? What you want me to do? You don't waste it all the live period.
I try to help.
Right. So
you better be a guy who's playing. What I mean by that is you're not ran in the game to rest the other guy.
Right.
Because it doesn't, you only get 9 days to get it right. And I hate that they cut another day, but I just believe that if you're in the right position, right team, getting pushed, you can get what you need.
Yeah, you can get what you need. So, for me, that's just educating parents and being able to help, like, that motivate me, to see a kid who don't got nothing and they go from, having multiple offers, or go to being a top 75 guy or a top 50 guy, and they've never touched the shoe circuit.
What's some of your examples of that? Like kids that haven't played on one yet, that's been with you and you've seen race up the whatever rankings.
Man, like, even this year, the rising senior class, like, you look at Matthew Cleveland.
Right.
Matthew Cleveland. Yeah. Never played on the shoe circuit. Right. Hasn't played on the shoe circuit yet. Some people got him right as high as 24 in the country.
And his high schools are not, he ain't at
right.
Cambridge, not knocking Cambridge, but they're not a national high school.
So, he was at Cambridge, then made the jump over to Pace. Right. So, he's at Pace now with Sharman, but, did NBA Top 100 camp.
Yeah.
Then went to USA basketball.
Right.
So you got him.
Kid from Tennessee.
Josiah James.
Yeah.
So Josiah James, originally from South Carolina.
Okay. I didn't know.
Plays at Tennessee.
Right.
McDonald's All-American. Didn't play on any shoe circuits, period. But I think, you know, his parents, they just wanted to stick to what they knew. Like they understood, they liked the structure for the AAU team he played for at the time, TMP.
Mm-hmm.
So they just like it was organized, it was structured. They played at a lot of my events. You know, I was able to get all the national writers would still come over and see me play.
Right.
So it's like, okay, cool, we're getting everything we need. He was at USA Basketball, he was on the team.
Right.
So he was able to get everything he needed, and at the end of the day, McDonald's All-American.
It's like my kid Jashawn, he was on the silver.
Right.
Nobody had none of his games.
Right.
We didn't get nobody at no game. You know, and then when our relationship, I mean, when you started seeing him, and the more and more, that's how I know what you're doing is so respected, because every time you made a call for him, the coaches called me. When I called, it's like, yeah, we hearing the buzz is getting bigger and bigger. Now look at him. You know?
But the thing is, like, if you know, for him, he's 6'7", unbelievable motor, and he can make shots.
Right.
So I don't care if you're on a circuit or not.
Coaches need you.
That stuff is gonna translate to college. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, I think people, you know, they don't get it. Like, the independent platform is good. Obviously, like, if your son is playing on a shoe team and he's actually playing, okay, cool. Like,
you Jabari Smith, I ain't tripping, right? You're a man.
It's an unbelievable experience, but at the same time, everybody ain't built for that. It ain't for everybody.
Right.
So, you know, when you look at those type of kids who've never touched the circuit, but they're top 100 kids. Like, what's the excuse? What's your reasoning for saying that the independent circuit isn't any good?
Well, it's hard to do that when I'm showing you 200 to 300 coaches every weekend.
Right.
So at one point, it's either your fault, but it can't be the tournament's fault.
Right.
A lot of times, parent myself, but a little different because I've been in the game forever. You got to be able to be real with your child too.
Right.
Hey man, there was 300 coaches there. They don't care what's sponsoring this event. They were there. Why didn't you get what you're supposed to get? And that's the part that, you know, parents got to do better themselves too, and say, hey son, we're not gonna make an excuse. We gotta make a pivot, figure something out.
You on the kill?
What's the word, baby? I know. You're always on the phone. What up, man? Lotto, man. John.
Before we even came to the game.
Man, I'm sitting at the house.
I need that for my.
That's about Pisca right there. JoJo need that, man.
Holler at these guys, man. Get them up.
Hey, y'all, this Lotto. Earn Not Giving, Street Lotto, Triple OG.
Triple OG, man.
One of Nasty Nighty's finest, man. This the Reddit where it's better, man. Might as well be Cincinnati out here.
Hey, man. They say Decatur is greater, but Alpharetta is better. That's what
break down, like, when you're doing a scout, are you doing scouting players, some of the things that lets you say, okay, I think this kid could maybe be high major, this kid is mid, per position. What do you look for, like how do you start the trend when the kids start to go different places? Like, what do you think?
Obviously size, right? Size and athletic ability, how well they move, but at the same time, just overall skill set, right?
Okay.
Ability to handle the ball under pressure, the ability to create for others, but to me, like a skill that's gonna always translate is the ability to shoot the ball, right? Like, there's not a lot of kids that can really shoot the ball. So when you start saying, okay, you got a 6'4" guard that has a high motor, that's athletic and that can make shots, you know, that's a straight line driver, can get downhill and finish. Maybe he's don't have a lot of wiggle, but like he's explosive, can get past people. Like, to me, depending upon how old they are, you know, what classification they in, like, look like a high major guard to me, right? 6'4", athletic, can make shots, get downhill in a straight line. So, you know, it just depends. Then obviously, like, big's a are different because they're gonna develop later. Right. You might have a 6'8" big who's extremely athletic, who's raw, but he's just a monster on the boards. Right? Gonna run the floor, gonna defend, multiple positions, gonna rebound. Like that's a high level kid. So it just kind of depends, on the position breakdown and on kind of like a case by case, breakdown of the kid.
So guards and wings are more production, bigs are more potential.
Yeah, for me, bigs it's more potential with bigs, right? Like, because them dudes gonna develop late. Like I look at a kid, for example, like with Jashawn, right? Right. Some people want to say like, is he a 3? Is he a 4? 2. Is he a 2? Like he has an unbelievable motor, right? He's athletic and he can make shots. Right. Like there's gonna be room for him to play, and a lot of people say, okay, now basketball is going positionless, right? Right. So anytime he can make shots, like that's gonna always be something to translate. Like whether you can make shots in high school, you're gonna be able to make shots in college. Right. Like that's something. Yeah, like that's something that's gonna translate across the board, in my opinion.
How do you scout somebody like that if they're specialists? This is what they do.
I mean, like I said, like shooting is at a premium. Like if you a guy that can make shots, you probably can go a little higher than what you're supposed to go. Just because, like
ding.
Matthew Davis is like, he's tough, he gonna compete, he ain't gonna back down. But at the same time, you put him in a system and you run plays for him, got him coming off screens. Right. You know what I mean? Where he got time to make shots, like that's what you need him for. Right. And there's not a lot of guys that can make shots. Like if you watch college basketball, it ain't a lot of dudes that's making shots out there. No. You know what I mean? No. So, with a specialist, you got to look at him different. Like I said, he is like Matthew Davis. He's 6'7". Right. So, he gonna probably go higher than what's expected.
What about like JoJo Peterson, Mount Pisgah? He's starting to really. I mean, for me, it's not out of nowhere, but I understand other people's lateness on him. You were early. I was early. Like Bobby, we've been early.
I saw it immediately last year when I first got with JoJo. His biggest thing was his mentality to me. Right. He's a great kid, right? And sometimes being a great kid off the court hinders kids on the court because they don't necessarily have that mean streak, that aggression. But as his mentality started to change over the last few months, I think that's part of the reason for JoJo's sudden rise.
Right. Not that he just overnight got way better.
Right.
His mentality grew.
So what's the biggest thing that you like about his game?
Me? You know me. I'm all about a kid who can make people better and defend.
Right.
I believe there's not a better defender from the 1 and the 2 that can really, he defends with his reach is incredible, instincts, but he passed the ball first. He wants to pass first. And me and Horace had a good conversation, and Justin Young. We talked, and it's like, the guy who wants to pass almost is looked at as less of a player because he doesn't average 40. Right. It's amazing. I see with my own son Kobe. Kobe's the only guy on his team that averages 7. He loves to pass. I don't know why people don't promote a passer no more. Lonzo Ball got to the NBA because he passed. I don't understand. Like, this kid is 6'4", 6'8", 6'9", reach, almost 6'10" reach, defends. But JoJo his sight is crazy. He sees the pass across the court. Then I say, okay, then they got a 5'9" guard ranked higher than him who averages 29 points. Where is he gonna do that in college?
Exactly. Like, it ain't translating in college. Right? Like, if you can't make people better, it ain't gonna translate, not from a point guard spot.
Right.
Because it's not going to be asked upon you to go out there and score 25 points a game.
First of all, you're not getting 20 shots a game in college. Watch Trae Young over the last 15 years. I think we got one. I don't know another point guard who took 20 shots in college.
Right.
But then we know this. We're the basketball people. We know this. But we still continuously don't promote a guy who does what they're going to want on the next level.
Right.
And maybe it's because it's not fun to talk about a guy who averages 15, 8, and 8. I don't know. It's funner to talk about a guy who averages 29 points and whatever. I don't know. He's athletic as heck. It's sometimes I just be like, man, I know they know better. I know the other writers know better.
Right.
Now I've seen a couple times with your up on what are they, rising fastest risers?
Yeah,
I think you're the first one to ever really associate those three kids. Now, Justin did mention Matt a year ago about on his, but really, I love the way when you put it out there about JoJo and Deshaun. To me, I think you were the first one to ever national writer to say, hey, these two guys are getting overlooked.
Right. Nah, I agree with you, but you know, like we had the same conversation. You know, it might be a 5'9" guard who scoring 30 points a game. Okay, like that's cool, right? But that don't equate to, in my opinion, like, you know, it don't mean he a high level guy. That don't mean he gonna be the same guy in college.
Right.
Now, like there is a place for him.
Right.
But I mean,
then you got your one-offs, like some super. I mean, Sharif don't count. I tell people all the time, when y'all quit telling me about this dude, he don't count.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Ryan Harrell don't damn count. Trae Young don't count, because we can count those one every decade. A dude that size who ain't a freak athlete who you can't do nothing about.
Right.
But they're not gonna come every year.
Nah, it ain't gonna be like that.
So the laws of averages says that ain't gonna work all the time. You know, so that's part of sometimes my frustration, because I'm a purist and I be looking for a guy who can do everything, and I don't think that's what's promoted, you know.